Hello everyone, Soberoni of G&A Reviews here with another new event guide, this time for the upcoming Battle in New York event, aka Gil Fest in Fate Grand Order NA. Just like with all my guides, this is going to be a very in-depth look at the event, covering everything from the newest craft essences to the most efficient farming strategies. So to help you out, I've included timestamps in the description down below, so you can jump ahead to whichever part of the video you need the most. I should also mention that this is going to be the replacement for Nero Fest this year, and for those of you who are not familiar with Nero Fest or Gil Fest, this is going to be an event that's accessible to everyone so long as you've cleared the first chapter, Fuyuki. However, it is mostly geared towards late game players. The event is going to be broken down into two sections, the tournament section and the exhibition matches. The tournament section of the event is a very traditional event where you farm free quests for currency to buy shop items and roll a lottery. However, for the exhibition portion of the event, that's going to be an optional section that's going to consist of a bunch of very difficult challenge quests. I will have another video coming out later this week that will go into full detail on each of the challenge quests, but for now, this guide is going to be a general overview of how the event works and the best farming strategies. So without further ado, let's take a look at the event servants. Unlike most events, this event doesn't feature any new servants. However, it does feature a pretty good banner with the likes of Gilgamesh, Caster of Midrash, and Julius Caesar. Gilgamesh is a limited 5-star archer with a max attack of 12,280 and a max HP of 13,097. He also has an AoE Buster Noble Phantasm. Gilgamesh is one of the best archers and best offensive servants overall in the entire game, so if you're looking for some firepower, I highly recommend picking him up. But aside from Gil, we also have a pretty strong 4-star on rate up in Caster of Midrash. She is a 4-star caster with a max attack of 8,629 and a max HP of 12,127. She has a single target Arts Noble Phantasm, which is pretty rare for a caster servant, and helps her stand out as one of the best offensive caster options available. And finally, we have Caesar, the 3-star Saber. He has a max attack of 7,497 and a max HP of 9,595. His Noble Phantasm is a single target quick attack that does devastating amounts of damage. Caesar himself is very underrated as he can serve as both a very strong DPS and a very good crit support option. So overall, this is a pretty strong banner in terms of servants, but let's take a look at the craft essences as well. But what this event lacks in new servants, it makes up for in new craft essences. We're going to be getting a total of 5 new craft essences with this event. 3 of them are going to be available in the gacha, while 2 of them are going to be handed out as rewards for completing the event. Starting with the gacha CEs first, we have the 3-star craft essence Showtime. This increases quick card effectiveness by 3% and P strength by 8% and increases the fry drops by 1. A pretty good budget craft essence for quick servants with powerful noble phantasms like Ku, Billy the Kid, and Caesar. Next up, we have the 4-star Sparkle in a Skyscraper. This increases Buster card effectiveness by 8%, crit strength by 15%, and hot dog drops by 1. A good craft essence for any kind of Buster crit servant like Nobu, Emiya, or Rama. And finally, the last of the gacha craft essences is the 5-star Gilgamesh in New York. This increases Buster card effectiveness by 20% and P gain by 10% and burger drops by 1. An excellent choice for any kind of Buster servant who has a spammable Noble Phantasm like Gil, Artoria, or Mecha Ellie. In addition to those gacha craft essences, we also have 2 5-star craft essences that are going to be available from the lottery boxes and the shop. Starting with the lottery craft essence first, we have the 5-star Return Match. This applies Guts for 1 time, reviving the servant with 1 HP, increases their crit strength by 15%, and increases their attack strength by 100% for the duration of the event. This is a pretty niche craft essence that works well on crit servants who rely on having low HP like Hijikata and Ann and Mary. And lastly, we have the 5-star CKT. This increases quick and arch card effectiveness by 10%, as well as crit strength by 10%, and increases the AUO ticket drops by 1. A good craft essence for any kind of arts and quick servant like Chiron, Kuro, and Achilles. Beyond craft essences, we're also going to be getting 3 new command codes with this event. First up, we have the 3-star command spell of the Crimson Jewel Lady, which increases crit strength by 10% on the engraved card. A pretty good command code for any crit servant like Ku Prototype, Billy the Kid, or Emiya. Next up, we have the 4-star Chain of God Binding, which applies a damage plus 15% against any divine enemies, which can work well with anti-divine servants like Nobu, Napoleon, and Karna. And last but not least, we have the 5-star Linchpin of Heaven. This applies a special 20% damage buff against servant enemies. It works perfectly on any kind of hyper-offensive servant that you would bring into a boss fight, especially Gilgamesh. Just like with most events, this event is also going to have an event shop where you can trade in different currencies for special items. The currencies for this event are going to be fries, hot dogs, burgers, and gold bars. I should mention that the fries, hot dogs, and burgers are going to be farmable currencies from free quests, but the gold bars are only going to be obtainable through the lottery, which we'll talk more about later. As for what you can trade these currencies in for, you'll be able to trade in the fries for 1 copy of the CKT Event Craft Essence, as well as Night Metals, Gunpowder, Spinal Fluid, and 4-star and 3-star foes. The hot dogs can be traded in for another copy of the Event Craft Essence, as well as Black Grease, Phoenix Plumes, Stingers, Saber, Rider, and Caster Pieces, and a 4-star foe. Cheeseburgers can be traded in for 2 copies of the Event CE, as well as Dragon Reverse Scales, Lamps, Rings of the Giant, Saber, Rider, and Caster Monuments, and 2 4-star foes. And finally, the gold bars can be traded in for 1 copy of each of the command codes, as well as 10 copies of the Experience Craft Essence, 2 copies of the Quick Arts and Buster code openers, and 4 copies of the command code remover. If you plan on clearing out this entire shop, you're going to need 2,500 fries, 3,150 hot dogs, 3,400 cheeseburgers, and 48 gold bars. I should also mention that there are only going to be 4 copies of the Event Craft Essence in the shop, so if you plan on max limit breaking it, you need to get lucky and have one drop from one of the free quests. This event is going to be a lottery event, very similar to last year's Gil Fest and Christmas. For those of you who don't know what a lottery event is, basically what it means is you farm a certain currency, in this case the AUO tickets, and then you'll be able to use those tickets to roll a lottery box that has a certain amount of prizes in it, and you will randomly be rewarded with these prizes depending on how much you roll, until you eventually empty the box. And then once the box is empty, you can refill it with prizes once again and repeat the process. Rolling the lottery boxes is going to cost 2 tickets, and it's going to take a total of 600 tickets to get everything inside of each box. Once you spend those 600 tickets, or if you get the jackpot prize, you can click reset to refill the box. You can do this an infinite amount of times to obtain an infinite amount of rewards. However, I do not recommend resetting the box until you completely clear it out, even if you hit the jackpot, because resetting it means that you lose out on anything that remains inside the box. As for what prizes you can obtain through these boxes, let's take a look at the grand prizes first. The grand prizes only exist in boxes 1 through 10. Boxes 1 through 5 have the 5-star Return Match Craft Essence as the grand prize, box number 6 has the Crystallized Lore, and boxes 7 through 10 reward you with 4 copies of the 4-star foes. Outside of those grand prizes, each of the boxes includes gold bars, silver, gold, and bronze apples, mana prisms, snake jewels, homunculus babies, void dust, heroes proof, blue, red, and yellow skill gems for every class, 3-star and 4-star experience, friend points, and a whole lot of QP. Now, because you can do this an infinite amount of times, that makes lottery boxes the absolute most efficient use of AP in the game. You should be spending as many apples as possible to run as many lottery boxes as you can. However, if you're just interested in the Event Craft Essence, the lore, and the foes, then you only need to farm up to 10 boxes, so I do recommend farming at least 10 at the bare minimum. But again, farm as many as you feel comfortable doing. There is no wrong amount. As for the story of the event, there really isn't any. There's only going to be one actual battle in the main story quest. The rest of the story is just going to be a bunch of cutscenes. However, it is worth noting that if you complete the main story, you do get a grail, so it is absolutely worth doing. Most of the event is going to revolve around the free quest. The entire event is just a series of free quests that are going to be set up like a tournament that is divided into 3 different rounds. There's going to be a preliminary round, a semi-final, and then a final. Each round is going to have a set of 5 different free quests ranging from easy to hard. The rounds are going to change after a certain amount of days. The preliminaries are going to last for the first 4 days of the event, then the semi-finals will last for the next 5 days, and then the finals will last for the remainder of the event. I should also mention that the exhibition matches, aka the challenge quests, will also not be available all at once from the start. They're going to release one at a time on a different schedule. But that's really all you need to know about the structure of the story and free quests, so let's talk about how you should farm the event. Currency farming is very easy and simple, and it follows the same exact formula for each round. So whether it's the preliminaries or the finals, the general farming strategy and which free quests you should be going to farm each currency doesn't ever change. The only thing that changes are going to be the enemies. With that said, there is also a number of craft essences that can make farming much easier. The gacha craft essences will help increase the amount of shop currency drops, the Gilgamesh in New York craft essence will increase burger drops, the skyscraper craft essence will increase hot dog drops, and the Showtime craft essence will increase fry drops. In addition, the event shop craft essence, CKT, will help increase the amount of AUO ticket drops, which helps with lottery rolling, and the lottery will reward you with 5 copies of the return match craft essence, which is going to bolster your damage for the event. I highly recommend rolling the Friend Point Gacha first to get as many copies of the 3-star CE as you can, as it will really help you out with farming. Once you have that, make sure you focus on getting the Shop Craft Essence ASAP. They are the most important things by far, because most of this event will be lottery farming. Also make sure that you do not max limit break the Shop Craft Essence, because having 3 or more copies of CKT gives you a lot more of a bonus than max limit breaking it does. Once you have all of the CEs from the shop, you can then focus on picking up anything else you need from the shop and farming that currency. But for the vast majority of the event, you will want to be farming for lottery tickets more than stuff from the shop. With all of that said though, here are going to be the best places to farm regardless of what round it is. The recommended level 40 quest is the best one for fries, the recommended level 60 quest is the best one for hot dogs, the level 80 quest is best for burgers, and the level 90 quest is the best for lottery tickets. That never changes regardless of the round. But to go into a bit more detail, let's take a look at each round one by one. In the preliminary round, you're going to want to farm the club for fries, the gym for hot dogs, the arena for hamburgers, and the garden for tickets. In addition, these places also drop snake gems, ancient gears, lamps, scarabs, forbidden pages, heroes proof, dragon fangs, and reverse dragon scales. For the semifinals, you're going to want to follow the same strategy: the club for the fries, the gym for the hot dogs, the arena for the cheeseburgers, and the garden for the tickets. You'll also find that these free quests are going to drop spinal fluid, horseshoes, bloodstone tears, stakes, ghost lanterns, Yggdrasil seeds, and divine wine. And finally, in the finals, you're going to want to farm the club for fries, the gym for hot dogs, the arena for hamburgers, and the garden for tickets. You can also scoop up some forbidden chains, evil bones, talons of chaos, bicorn horns, homunculus babies, aurora steels, and spirit roots. Now, I don't want to get too deep into which teams you should be using for the most optimal strategy on each quest. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of other YouTubers that cover that. However, I do want to make a quick note that if you are a free-to-play player or a newer player, there is a way of very efficiently farming for lottery boxes in this specific event. For the semi-finals and finals, the level 90 free quest is going to have you up against assassin enemies. Because of this, you can actually farm these free quests effectively as a free-to-play player if you have Sieg, Paracelsus, and Waiver, even if your Waiver is just a support Waiver. You can even potentially 3-turn this if you have a Waiver of your own that you can battle swap in. Because of this, I highly encourage everyone who plans to seriously farm this event to max level and skill your Sieg, and max level and skill your Paracelsus. And if you don't have a Waiver, I highly encourage you to roll for him while he's on Raid Up for the Fate Zero rerun, which is coincidentally right before Gil Fest. This setup is going to make farming lottery boxes infinitely easier and faster. So again, if you're someone who's looking to seriously farm for a lot of boxes and you don't have any kind of Scotty system servants or a double Scotty to work with, then make sure that you level up your Sieg and your Paracelsus and that you grab Waver if you can. And that just about wraps up everything in the first half of this event. Remember to buy out these Shopcraft Essence ASAP, but don't max limit break them. Keep them separate so that you can maximize your ticket drop bonus. Get what you need from the shop early on, but then make sure that you focus mainly on farming tickets, because this event is purely for the lottery and that is by far the best thing to farm. Use as many apples as you can, and remember, if you plan to seriously farm, make sure you level up your Sieg and Paracelsus and try to pick up Waver during the Fate Zero rerun. Waver only has a 1-day solo raid up, so make sure you don't miss it. And again, I will be covering the challenge quest portion of Gil Fest in a video later on this week, so do make sure you look forward to that. And if this video did help you out, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so that you can catch all the videos as they go up, especially that challenge quest guide. And if you haven't already, do join the party over at our Discord, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Twitch, all linked in the description down below. I will be streaming this event a lot over on Twitch, so make sure you're following us there if you want to be a part of it. And until next time, I will see you in the next guide or spotlight. So we're only out. Later.